All right, as we're just under a month away from the NFL draft, all the rumors are flying around. There's massive intrigue at the top of the draft. We know who's going number one overall, but picks 2 through 4 are a major toss up with all the quarterback prospects being listed. I've seen every one of these quarterbacks in the top 4 from all different spots, teams trading up. What's going to happen? But LSU head coach Brian Kelly may have let slip where his top quarterback prospect, Jayden Daniels, is going to end up when talking at his pro day. Now, Daniels has been the high riser of this draft. If you look back to coming into the season, Daniels, a fifth-year senior at LSU, turns out a Heisman Trophy winning year, a monster season, but there are question marks with him. He really wasn't that good at Arizona State. He was decent last year at LSU, but then a monster riser, threw for 40 touchdowns, ran for 1,100 yards. He was absolutely electric, and we've seen this before at LSU. Joe Burrow, same kind of guy, was okay his first year at LSU, hops onto the scene, wins a national championship, and he's been a great NFL quarterback to begin his career. But Daniels is a different kind of quarterback, a highly athletic guy, not necessarily your Lamar Jackson type, who's a run-first type quarterback. Daniels kind of reminds me a little bit more of his Johnny Manziel type play style, where he was throwing the rock and he would scramble when plays broke down and take off using his hyper athleticism. But Daniels is a bit undersized. He's 6'4". The height's not a problem, but he weighed in at 210 at his pro day. That's okay. He didn't weigh at the combine. Allegedly, they have his playing weight listed at 185 this past season. That's major concerns in the NFL. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Daniels' tenacity. He is not going to go out of bounds. He's going to go pick up the yards. He wants to play hard. He loves to fight. But at his slender size, I think that's a real concern for a top quarterback. Injuries are an issue for these type of guys. The SEC is about as close as you're going to get to the NFL when it comes to defensive guys, but it's just a whole different animal. Now, Kelly wanted to address some of that when talking. He goes, he's going to be so committed to taking care of himself, you're not going to have to worry about size or if he doesn't weigh enough. Lamar Jackson has done a pretty good job with the size. Patrick Mahomes, I wouldn't call him a giant because Daniels is going to get the ball out to his playmakers and make plays for Washington. This is where the intrigue comes in. He name dropped the Commanders. Now, it could have been he was just talking to head coach Dan Quinn and offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury at the pro day workout, and so we just kind of had them on the brain. But there's been lots of speculation, especially this week. Drake May has been named for the Commanders. JJ McCarthy, after a report earlier in the week, flew up in his Vegas betting odds. He was at plus 2,500. Now he's at all the way up to plus 400 that Washington was going to take him number 2 overall after being very pleased with his pro day. But Jayden Daniels still the favorite here. We've kind of had him pegged in for a little while at Washington, but all these smoke screens, all this stuff, you don't know what's just noise and what are just rumors or what is actually there. He's at minus 140 now to end up on the Commanders. And Dan Quinn seemed to be very happy. He was smiling at the combine when talking with Adam Peters, the GM. Look at him. He's having a good time. He's having a good time there, Dan Quinn. He's loving what he is seeing from Jayden Daniels. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense. We know they hired Cliff Kingsbury as their offensive coordinator. These are the type of quarterbacks he's kind of worked with. Like I said, Johnny Manziel, who he reminded me a lot of watching him in college. Not quite as good as Johnny was in college, but still a much better NFL prospect. Caleb Williams, who Kingsbury worked with this past season at USC, and obviously Kyler Murray at Arizona. These hyper-athletic quarterbacks, they can throw the football, they can move around, extend plays, and when they have to take off, they can take off, and that's absolutely what Jayden Daniels can do. Now, I hope Washington goes and drafts JJ McCarthy at number 2, because that would be just what Washington does, and that would open things up for my Vikings to move up in there and go get the guy who I personally think is the number 2 quarterback, could end up being the number 1 quarterback, and that's Drake May. I am a huge fan of Drake May. He just kind of got that dog in him, man. I love his interviews. I really liked what I saw. Now, North Carolina didn't have the most complex offense under Mac Brown. It kind of reminds me a lot of like Justin Herbert in college. Oregon really didn't let his talents fly, and then you saw what he's able to do in the NFL as a passer, as a more mobile quarterback to help extend plays. His legs are not a detriment. In fact, it helps. You don't want that pure mobile guy like Lamar Jackson. You want the Patrick Mahomes type who can just extend plays, pick up 10 yards when it's gritty and you need it, or go and make that 40-yard throw downfield to a guy who's open after you break off a sack. Those are the type of quarterbacks I think you want in the NFL, and that's what Drake May fits here. So now we have a lot of intrigue. If Daniels is the guy at number 2, what are the Patriots going to do at 3? There's been a lot of rumors they want to trade out of that pick if Daniels isn't on the board. There's also been rumors that they're in love with Drake May. It's really hard to tell when we get to this point in the draft what is going to happen. But like I said, Caleb Williams, a lock at number 1 to the Bears. And at number 2 is where the draft starts. There's a lot of intrigue with Washington, I think personally. I think they do go Daniels. If they don't, all hell is going to break loose in this draft, I think. They go Drake May, then New England's going to take Daniels. Then Arizona, I guess the draft starts with Arizona. Does Minnesota trade up to get J.J. McCarthy still? Or does Arizona take one of those top wide receivers? Lots of interesting stuff going on. We're going to be covering all of it heading into draft night. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Where do you have your top quarterbacks? Is Jayden Daniels going to be drafted by Washington? Let me know what you guys think. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for one of our channel membership. You get access to exclusive videos, early access to videos, lots of cool perks. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.